is Talks with G. I'm G. This is a video. This is video number 15, I believe. Oh, take a breath. I'm tired. Man, that was a good one. I wonder how many of you are going to yawn because of that now. Anyways, this is Talks with G. I'm G. It's a few days after Thanksgiving and several days after Thanksgiving. I was trying to make a video. Video 13 is a video I wanted to make. It was Thanksgiving. I was in an airplane. It was cool. It was fun. I was sitting in a chair going really fast, about 500 miles an hour. I thought I'd use time to, strike while the pan is hot and make a video for you guys from the sky. But there was one problem. After I made the video, I didn't realize till I got on the ground that there wasn't any audio. So I don't know if my hand was on the mic. I don't know if there was some vibrations. So this video 15 is kind of me explaining what I said, or at least saying what I said, because you can't hear anything. That video is a silent video. If you want to see what the Colorado Rockies look like, flying over roughly southern Idaho, looking at Montana to the northeast, there's a clip in there for you about that. But that's what this video is for. This video is to explain the video 13, which is a silent ride in the airplane, which I made on Thanksgiving Day, which was on my flight. So I'm just going to re-say what I said in that video, which is this video, and that's really all I'm going to do today. So when I was making that video, I was in an airplane, and I wanted to talk about things that I'm thankful for. But while I was sitting there on the airplane, I was like, and I've thought this thought before, but it was really, it's clear to me every time I see an airplane. I was like, well, this plane is made out of atoms. These atoms have been here for billions of years. So the atmosphere has been here for billions of years. Everything on this planet is billions of years old, right? So let's assume just the Earth, roughly 4 billion years old. And let's say we jump to, let's assume that, planes and everything that goes along with that has only really been here for 150 years. Now that's not really true, but if you consider the infrastructure and the coal and the power and everything that goes into it, let's assume the infrastructure to support flight has been there for the last 150 years. If you take 150 and divide it by 4 billion years, that's a really small number. That's a really tiny number that objects have been floating around in the sky that we made, period, on this planet ever. So then I was like, well, why is that number so small? And obviously for many of those billions of years, 3 billion of them at least, there wasn't even any real life. So that's kind of a joke. But let's assume that in the last 20,000 years, there's been people, let's say 10,000 years, there's been people and they weren't flying. And then 150 years ago there were people and now they're starting to fly. What was it? If the atoms are the same, if the laws of physics are the same, and nothing's changed, what did change that allowed us to be flying? And what I was thinking about was one of the things that I'm really thankful for, and I think people always say the knowledge, well, we didn't know how to fly, we didn't know what gravity was, we didn't know what aerodynamic forces were, we didn't know what kind of materials we could use to fly. It's like, okay, why? Why didn't we know those things? And I think one of the biggest things as to why we are where we are today is because of freedom. The freedom to have thoughts, the freedom to have ideas, and the freedom to exchange those ideas, even if they go against the grain or they go against our previous understanding of things, i.e. science. The whole point of science is to challenge your current notion and to prove it wrong. And by proving what you think is currently true to be not true and to be wrong, you come out with a deeper understanding of what is. You find new things. And if you take a look at the city of Alexandria, I've talked about Alexandria before. If you haven't, there's some really good documentaries and you can just Google it. The city of Alexandria started at roughly 300 some odd BC from Alexander the Great. And it was one of the most flourishing cities ever, compared to modern times. And the number one catalyst that city had was that it was the center for knowledge. It had this huge library. Google the Library of Alexandria. There's a lot of awesome, incredible things to read about. They had so many technologies back then. They even knew, certain people then even knew that the earth was not flat. But then it got completely destroyed. So the laws of physics don't change. Nothing changes. The atoms don't change. We're in this deep, dark period for many hundreds of years. And all of a sudden we can fly. And I'm not saying America is the only catalyst, but America is truly one of the biggest catalysts, if not the biggest catalyst in the last several hundred years, to really create an entity, to have a country revolve around new ideas, to revolve around questioning the norm, to revolve around questioning the status quo, and for supporting your liberties to be able to do that, to separate church and state, to say that you can speak things, you can study things, you can question things, regardless of what the structure or the system says. And that's what I was thankful for on that day. I was thankful to live in a country where we are free to have ideas, to have new ideas, and we're free to speak those ideas, and we're free to try to use those ideas that we discover for a profit. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of having a free country, is to take these ideas and to invent new technologies that are able, that allow us to be able to expand on these ideas and to use and make things that better our world, better humanity. And that's what I was thankful for. I'm thankful for the ability that we have. I'm thankful for the chunk of land that America is, and all the problems that America has. I'll forgive it for right now. I'm thankful to have the right to say, no, that's not what it is. And the right to say publicly, in a book, or in some academic journal, or in some publication, such as this video, to say, you know what, that's not how this works. That's not what gravity is. That's not what aerodynamics is. And more importantly, I wanted to thank the men and women who serve this country and uphold our rights to be able to question things, to expand things, to try to find and discover new things, even if the majority of people do not believe or do not think that it is possible, or more importantly, that we have to be mindful of, do not want us to learn more about, to question. Because let's face it, just take a look at oil companies. They stand to gain billions, if not trillions of dollars, by suppressing information that might question the importance and the usefulness, and may I say, the negative externalities and consequences of burning fossil fuels. I live in a country where I can make this video, and you can watch this video freely on this thing called the internet. And that is a right. It is a right to question things. It is a right to stand up against not just ways of thinking, but entities that do everything in their power to maintain certain structured thought processes for a political or monetary gain. And I really, the biggest message was I wanted to thank the men and women who are serving across, both here in America and across all of the oceans, that allow us to be able to talk freely and allow us to have a Thanksgiving peacefully and safely in a safe country. When they themselves are away from family, they are away from a home-cooked meal, and they really are the silent heroes of this country, among other people. And that's all that video was. This video is longer than that one. I thought I worded things quite well there. It's unfortunate it was recorded. And of course, I definitely wanted to, in the video I talked about my family and having my friends, and just being able to live life. That's what I was really thankful for too. But that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about how nothing about this plane was impossible 2,000 years ago. Nothing about a plane, a piece of metal with an airfoil of this shape, with that fuselage, of that body, with this much of thrust exerted in this vector. That would, if you, basically what I'm trying to say is, if you took a Boeing 737 and you put it in the year, let's say 100,000 BC, and it was burning fuel, it would still fly exactly the same as it does today, period. So the only difference was that we just did not know of the atoms, the properties of the physical matter on this planet, how we can manipulate the laws of physics to bend to our will, how we can manipulate the environment to have an outcome. And we only know these things because we have the ability to discover them. We have the ability to share them. We have the ability to talk about it with other people. And it's not just in America, but America is one of the best countries for that. And that, America really, if America wants to be, I don't want to say here tomorrow or relevant tomorrow, I think if America wants to continually represent freedom and represent success and represent the access to knowledge and information and to a happy, healthy life, the pursuit of happiness for all people of all worlds, of all nations, it will have to very much do its best, and its citizens will have to do its best to make sure that information and the knowledge of information and the infrastructure that supports the sharing and spreading of knowledge and information and ideas is kept sacred and available to all people, not just of this country, not the world. And I am thankful for those who are fighting for our rights to be able to meet that challenge, to meet that requirement. And that's all I wanted to talk about. My next video is going to be really good. This guy on Twitter, or girl, I don't know, a user tweeted me a great question. They asked what I thought was the best alternative energy source, or just the best energy source. And I have a really good, I think I have a pretty decent answer to at least stimulate that question and to stimulate that thought and to go into that conversation. So that's what the next video is going to be about. And I'm really excited about it because I can see how it's not going to be what you think it's going to be for anyone. Whether you own a Tesla or a Leaf, or you drive a Mustang or a Ferrari. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a little bit this week. I'm really busy with finals and school. I should be fine. I got good grades. So I don't know when exactly I'm going to get into it, but maybe tomorrow, maybe a few days from now. I don't know. But be ready. Again, I'm G. This is Talks with G. Go to talkswithg.com. Go to all the links below. Click like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Ask me questions. Give me ideas to talk about. And I mean, things are kind of starting to pick up on the social media sphere, but really, like the Twitter posts and everything, that really gets me going. That really gets me thinking. And you guys come up with some great ideas, some great things to stimulate these videos. And I'm going to keep going with them. Have a good week.